Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a ship from Anvil Aerospace. I am of course referring to the mighty Hornet F7A Mk2. This ship is a medium fighter and my oh my does it slap. It's had a few tweaks here and there and a substantial amount of controversy behind it. For a medium fighter it does put out a ridiculous amount of DPS. It is account bound and it was a ship that you could upgrade from the F7C, which is the civilian variant. There isn't too much of a difference between those two ships. The civilian variant still slaps, of course it does, but the military variant that we have here allowed you to attach a twin gun mount on the chin, and it has a bigger power plant obviously to help power those weapon systems found on board the F7A. It's a great looking ship, it really is, and very sleek in its design and quite powerful. You know, it does give the F8 Lightning, which is a heavy fighter, a bit of a run for its money, which is fine because we like competition in the workplace, right? It's better for the consumer. So this ship obviously was designed to operate on and off carriers, hence its kind of sleek, slender and narrow design, but you shouldn't be fooled by that because this thing is very potent. I like the aesthetics of the Mark II. I very much look forward to seeing what kind of design, if any at all, changes will be made to the other variants if they decide to bring out, for example, the trackers. A Mark II tracker would be really cool. The parts are interchangeable with existing Hornets, which is really nice, so it does have a fair amount of modularity. Now the ship itself, I think, for my personal use, I've got the Lightning and now this, which is kind of nice because these are going to fit nicely into like my exploration ship, so I could have one in my Odyssey and another one in, I don't know, my Ironclad, for example. Ships of that nature, I think having two very powerful fighters in your fleet on board bigger ships while you're about doing your space business is almost certainly a plus. So the F7A is account bound, which means you can only upgrade from it. You won't be able to buy it in store. I'm sure there'll be some golden ticket variants around, maybe if the CIG decide to do events to win and buy this ship like they did with the F8. It's interesting to see just how often this is going to go on sale, but for now I'm quite happy to keep it. It is very potent, there's no two ways about it. There were some issues with its flight model upon release. I haven't used it too much, to be honest with you, so I couldn't tell you where it stands right now, but I can tell you that my experience with it has been pleasant, you know, because this thing, it is a little bit of an animal. I'm sure nerf hammers will be dropped at some point, if they haven't already, but overall, it's a very powerful fighter, okay, and it does give the F8, I think, to be fair, the F8 is its closest competitor. Maybe the Glaive as well. The Glaive is another ship that I absolutely adore, and I think the rework for the alien ships is something to look forward to for certain. I think the Glaive, the F8 are probably the main competitors to this ship because those two also slap quite significantly. But the Hornet, very nimble, very sleek, obviously, as I said, designed to take off from carriers and defend your fleet. It's got that perfect size to fit in most of the larger ships' hangars. You're not going to have any problems there at all. And having a Hornet in the back of, say, an Odyssey is, you know, that's a huge plus. Your Polaris, absolutely. This thing will do some serious damage. Not only that, I think the stock skin for this particular vessel is also really nice. Normally we get some pretty bland sort of manufacturer paints for these ships, but this is a very nice ship indeed, and the paint helps. I think it's a very modernistic, if that is even a word, but it is now. Very modernistic paint for this ship. I do like the look of the Hornet Mark IIs. I think they look absolutely superb. Now, of all of the concept ships that we have from CIG, there is one in particular, apart from the Merchantman, obviously, that goes without saying, everybody knows I'm a Merchantman fanboy, but one ship I really hope they start building soon is the Odyssey, followed by the Perseus. But the Perseus is a different animal, different video. The Odyssey, I really want that in game because it's the same size as the Carrack, roughly, but it has a much more generous hangar, right? And when we get Pyro, which is so close now, we can taste the poison in the air. I think the Odyssey and a fighter such as the F7A are a match made in heaven, because it's going to allow me to go everywhere with substantial fuel, and being Pyro and being that it's lawless means there's going to be trouble, and having an F7A or even the Lightning in the back, but probably the F7A, is almost certainly going to pay dividends, right? And I'm very much looking forward to the Odyssey because it opens up so many options. Where the Carrack is brilliant, it's let down by its hangar. The Odyssey does not have that restriction. The cockpit of the F7A then, I think, is superb, like with the civilian variant. We do lose some MFDs, but it's very crystal clear. Like, the MFDs work great, the buttons and everything looks really sci-fi, which is a huge plus for me. I enjoy the immersion. The only thing with the current build with Star Citizen that's sort of breaking that immersion for me is the UI. I just cannot accept it. I refuse to accept it. So hopefully they refine that to make it look better than it is now. It looks far too arcadey. It doesn't suit the ships at all, having that on the HUD, their particular icons, etc. If you compare the MFD and information displayed there to what's on your HUD, it's just not the same. So I hope they tidy that up. It needs it. I believe they said they were going to come back and tidy everything. I hope they do, because I'm not a fan of the current UI. I prefer the old UI, believe it or not, but that's just nitpicking. The ship overall, the cockpit is absolutely superb. Really does give you a sense of immersion. You're sort of wrapped around in that solo seat that you have with the HOTAS system. The UI we have now currently kind of breaks that immersion for me. It just doesn't suit what we're used to. Now, the F7A is great, and the problem with the F7A being great is it kind of makes me reluctant to fly anything else. For example, the beloved Anvil Arrow, which is a light fighter, and it is also, you know, a legend in the verse. It's a fantastic ship, the Arrow. I've had a lot of fun with the Arrow. It's fast, extremely agile, and just a good time, very much like the Gladius, although I haven't been in the Arrow at all since Master Mode, so I can't speak for how it flies now, but in general, that's how it should fly, right? But because I've got the F7A, why would I take an Arrow? There's just no need for it. So let's talk about how I intend to use the F7A. Well, it's going to be a fleet defense fighter for me, so what does that entail? Well, essentially, I'm going to throw it in the back of a bigger ship, and I'm going to go about my space business. Primarily, recently, I've started leaning into the side of Star Citizen, which is more chillaxing. Okay, so I'm really starting to enjoy mining. The cargo missions, when they work, are fantastic. We've got the new hangars. Everything is starting slowly to come together, and we're starting to get a bit more flavour of what this game is going to offer us in the future. And when it comes to PvP, I'm just not interested at all in it in any way, shape or form at the moment. There are other games that I play which do it better, obviously. Okay, so when it's flying stuff, I'm on DCS. When it's on, I don't know, first person shooters, it's Daisy or something else. Star Citizen very much for me is a game where I can come on, throw on Netflix or YouTube in the background and just chill, right? That's what I'm really enjoying about the game at the moment. I think that's the side that is appealing to me. The cargo running, the mining, rock mining, all that sort of stuff is awesome. Really enjoying it at the moment. So, fleet defense, what does that entail? Well, I imagine that when I'm in and around the verse, trying to build my base, or space trucking, and or doing missions, and or doing illegal missions, whatever it might be, at some point I'm going to get jumped by a bunch of pirates or another fleet by accident. And what better ship to have in the back of a bigger ship than a carrier based fighter with a ridiculous amount of firepower? So the F7A will be my defense only ship. I'm not looking to go out and start PvP. I'm not looking to cause anyone any grief. I'm not looking to pirate anyone. I just want to chillax in the verse, and so it's going to be a defensive countermeasure to anyone that tries to bring the pain. Now, that's not to say that I don't enjoy the PvP of Star Citizen. That's not true. I've dabbled in it numerous times over the years, and I think there are aspects to PvP in the game which are really fun and interesting. I think the best time that we've had PvP was the original Jumptown when that first launched. It was just crazy good fun. Really cool. Since then, I kind of weaned myself off of it, and I've done a few bounty hunting missions in the F7A. Not many, because I just don't feel... And it's nothing to do with master modes. That's still cooking, right? So I can't have an opinion on something until it's finished. That's like trying to bake a cake. You put all your ingredients in and then judging it before it's even been cooked. So I'm not going to do that. I don't think it's master modes. I think it's just a shift in my persona as to the PvP element in Star Citizen. I'm just not interested in it at all at the moment. So Fleet Defense, the Hornet will be there to guarantee, or at least try to guarantee, my safety. The truth will come out when Pyro is officially launched, and everyone's going to go to Pyro, I imagine, and it's completely lawless. We're going to see chaos, and I think having an F7A in the back of your ship is going to help you avoid that chaos. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be crazy because everyone you come across is a potential threat, and with the new PvP modes they're introducing with like holding areas to get loot rewards and all that sort of stuff, there's going to be a lot, and I mean a lot, of PvP combat and people getting murdered and people hiding in corners and camping. It's going to be frustrating and brilliant, and I definitely would want an F7A in the back of a larger ship just in case things go awry. That's my plan for the F7A. Okay, let's take a closer look then at the ship's stock weapon and components. Right, here we are with our trusty DPS calculator. Where to start with this monstrosity then? Well, as you can see, we have numerous weapon systems slapped all over this spacecraft. It's something else, to be quite honest with you. So the F7A Mk2, we have a nose turret which has the two cannons which are both size 3s, right? We can swap these out, you can play to your heart's content. I should note that I have put no components on this ship whatsoever. I haven't upgraded it at all. So I don't have a optimal loadout. This is just to show you the basic components, which of course, if you're watching this in the past, could change on a dime because there's a lot of changes coming to the game constantly. So this is why I do the basic loadout, because what's relevant now, 6 months down the line, this could all be completely different. But as it stands, and I should say this was recorded a while ago, so this now could be out of date. But as you can see, we have numerous weapon systems, numerous turrets, and bigger missiles than the civilian variant. The civilian variant gets smaller missiles and a size 1 power plant. It's still a powerful ship. The F7A, the military variant, we get bigger missiles and a bigger power plant, as you can see. So we have the two size 1 all stops. So we have two size 1s for shields, we have a size 2 Maelstrom power plant, which is the upgrade from the civilian variant. Again, swap those out to your heart's content. I haven't played with it at all, any of these components. Coolers, we have the bracers. So if you're going for all lasers, for example, you might want some better coolers. Quantum Drive, we have the EOS. I would always, almost certainly throw the top 3 in there. Atlas, or a Foxfire competition, you know, any of those, and you'll get your range, because I think range is more important than speed, depending on how much time you've got, of course. So an impressive interchangeable loadout for the F7A. It's an impressive ship. No doubt it's caused a few balancing issues, and no doubt they will continue to grow with their complications. Armor, I think, will have a huge impact on a lot of ships. I think that will become a main way to balance these ships, even though their armor is represented by the health pool in game. But the biggest pro of this ship is, as you can see, the 9 tails. They hate it. They absolutely hate it, and yeah, tough. It's awesome. Right, let's take a walk around then of this wonderful machine, and we'll start by going around the side of this thing. So as you can see, it's in its landing configuration, tricycle landing gear, dripping from these swept wings. I love the swept wing design. I think it's because I'm a Tomcat fanboy, let's be honest. The weapon systems droop nicely. Don't droop, they sit, they're fixed, they're aggressive. Then we have the chin turret with 2 more size 3. This is the cannons Omniski. Is it Omniski or Omnisky? Omniski sounds better. Omniskies? Not so much. So we're going to go with Omniskis. I've decided. That's democracy. Because I said so. So we have the 2 Omniskis at the bottom there. Size 3s. It's awesome. It's such a powerful ship. Then, as you can see, behind the cockpit, this new sleek design, we have the 2 Omniski turret cannons as well. Now I imagine we're going to get a tracker variant of this ship, which will be awesome. I think the tracker is a fantastic ship. The Mark 1 is fantastic. Whether or not we can swap components from Mark 2 to Mark 1 in the future, or Mark 2 to Mark 2, I don't think that would be an issue. I think you're going to be able to do that. I think a Ghost variant Mark 2 also would be extremely cool. There's a lot to see what CIG do. Hopefully we get some Cutlass Black Mark 2s soon, some Cutty Mark 2s and some Freelancer Mark 2s. Those 2 groups of ships, I think, need this loving touch that the Hornets had. They need bringing up to speed, especially the Freelancers. They look a bit, what's the word I would use to describe it? Frumpy is the word I would use. Apart from that, we all know that the Mark 2s look absolutely excellent, and of course that ginormous singular engine certainly helps sell that. Right, let's hop into the cockpit then. Very nice ladder animation. In we get. Takes a while for the canopy to close is something I've noticed. But yeah, the shape instantly says fighter. But once you're in, you are treated to a very, very nice cockpit layout. We are lackluster in the MFD compartment, which does make it a little bit tricky to operate the ship sometimes, fumbling around, switching MFDs, you know, your comms or weapon systems, but it's not really a huge deal. Maybe it would have been nice to have 2 above on that top bar of the canopy, but in here, very sci-fi, HOTAS systems, we've got flashing lights, it's very clean, the buttons work fine, ejection handle between the legs, should you need to save your life to fight another day. Yeah, it's really cool in here. Excellent cockpit from the Mark IIs in general. Visibility it's fine. You know, even with the struts, once you're in it, you don't really notice. They're not too intrusive, they don't block your visibility all that much, but it is a very clean, concise cockpit. I just wish the radar was on a hardback MFD, although the digital one in this particular ship works quite nicely, so I'm just nitpicking really, because otherwise it is a very clean, very cool space combat cockpit, and I enjoy it in here. It's very atmospheric. Just a shame the new UI breaks that a little bit. So there we go, guys. That was my video on the F7A Mark II Hornet. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what buttons to press, and I of course will have more Star Citizen content en route to your location soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Cheers.